Welcome to Spin Justice with me, Hayley Owens, the podcast where I'll be talking about anything from health and fitness to the injustices of the world and everything in between. I've worked within the criminal justice system for over 20 years and have more recently taken to teaching indoor cycling, otherwise known as spin. Each week I'll be talking to a different guest about a topic that's personal to them, whether it be to raise awareness or just because. Most episodes will contain strong language because of who I am as a person, so if that's not for you, then probably best to swerve. Any opinions expressed by me are my own. Welcome, Aaron Ashton, aka El Gringo Mandingo.
That's me.
Tell me about that name, please.
Oh, fuck's sake, I get this every time.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's not long, but it's convoluted. So, Gringo Mandingo, that's the ring name. I take you've seen Django.
Do you know what? No, I haven't.
You
Sean
haven't
Miller's
seen
going to
Django?
kill me for this because he sends me messages all the time saying, watch Django.
Django is my favourite movie. It's
Right, listen, I'm
fucking
going to watch
brilliant.
it, okay.
And Tarantino's done some good movies, but that's the best one that he's ever done. It's that good. So anyway, in Django, it's about slavery in the States, and there's a slave owner that basically uses his own slaves for his entertainment. And one of the more macabre ways he entertains himself with his slaves is what he calls mandingo fighting, which is basically where he'll make two slaves fight to the death,
Okay.
and the winner gets a beer. That's as good as it gets.
Okay,
But when I first watched it, obviously I've always been like combat minded and stuff, and I thought, oh, that's quite niche. I thought, I like that. I didn't know that was a thing. Obviously it's brutal and it's grim and whatever else, but that's kind of cool at the same time. So I whipped my phone out and I thought, mandingo fighting. Turns out if you Google mandingo, all that comes up is a load of big black cocks, because that's what mandingo actually means.
Don't Google it, people.
So don't Google it, and if you do, make sure safe search is off. But I think that was Tarantino putting a little in-joke into the film, because he knew that people were going to look up mandingo fighting. Let's have a look at that,
No
and
way.
just flood the phone with porn.
Love it.
So yeah, I thought, well, I like that, but obviously it specifically refers to big black cocks, and I thought, well, I haven't got a big black cock, so I can't really steal that for my ring name. So I went with Gringo Mandingo. Gringo means foreigner in Spanish, or white dude.
Yes.
So the Gringo Mandingo was born.
I love that.
It's creative, isn't it?
It is.
But you know what? I feel like a lot of people fuck up with this, because as a boxer or a fighter in any sort of combat sport, you do need to create a bit of a personality behind yourself.
Agree.
You can be the most talented guy in the fucking world. If you're not memorable, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So I created my own ring name, which is kind of the frowned upon thing. You should sort of inherit it. But I thought, fuck it, and it's working for me.
Yeah,
And
do what you
everywhere I go, everyone always asks, why Gringo Mandingo?
Ah.
So it's captivating.
Well, I was thinking this morning about questions that I want to ask. I've got quite a lot I want to ask, and I've got something a bit later. Because we are going to talk about failed marriages, we're going to talk about parenting, we're going to talk about boxing. And so we'll come on to all these things. But I did think, oh, I'm going to ask him about his name. But I also want to ask you whether you've recovered from your recent hangover.
You know what? I still don't think I'm all the way there.
So how many days are we on now? 5 days?
It was it was like Sunday morning by the time it stopped, to be fair. So
Rest of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
the fact I couldn't even count the days in my head tells me I'm not all the way recovered.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not there yet. I'm better. I actually went back to the gym this morning for the first time this week, and I had
Okay.
like the worst, weakest, half-hearted session ever, which helped. But yeah, I think I'm like 90%, which is pretty good. But considering we're like 5-6 days out, that's shit.
How old are you?
37.
37, so like, yeah, it gets worse, man.
I feel like every year after 30, the
Yeah.
hangovers like grew an extra day.
And do you know what? When I was in my 20s, probably late teens, early 20s, I worked in like offices in town, like sort of like receptionist or secretary or whatever. And I used to go on the piss nearly every night after work. Like, remember the Lytton Tree on Newell Street? Anyone probably going way the Lytton Tree?
That's out my jurisdiction.
Yeah, so like this, I'm going way back now, and you could get like a house bottle of wine for £5, and I would go
That's the
in.
equivalent of our Lloyd's bar.
Yeah. And I swear to God, I'd finish work at 5, half 5, and I'd get home about 2 a.m, shit-faced, and I'd be back in work for 9 the next day.
Yeah, like it was nothing.
Yeah.
We used to do it every Thursday, Friday and Saturday night. That was
Yeah.
our thing. Thursday night would be like the tame one, when you'd get in at 12 o'clock on a night. And then Friday, go to work, finish early, straight to the pub, on it all night. get a few hours sleep if you're lucky, get up Saturday, straight to the pub, drink all day, and then Sunday you just eat takeaway all day. Monday fixed, perfectly fine.
Fine by Monday, yeah.
Now, like this hangover was life changing. That's how bad I think it was.
Yeah.
I feel like a part of me died on Saturday night.
What do you drink?
Everything.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
Shots as well?
Yeah, tequila. It's always
Yeah.
tequila.
What?
Cider, Guinness and Black. I know that's controversial because you shouldn't have.
I like a Guinness and Black.
I fucking love a Guinness and Black. It's the first thing I religiously have when I get out.
Drank it in Dublin. They don't like it, by the way.
How did that go down? Because I remember getting into some trouble over a Guinness and Black in Dublin.
If you ask for a Guinness and Black in some Irish pubs, they'll tell you they don't serve cocktails.
That's what they said to me. That was the exact words they said to me.
But some of them are all right with it, including the Guinness factory. They were same with a Guinness and Black.
I suppose they kind of try and cater more for the tourists. So whereas
Yeah.
I remember the first pub, or the only pub I asked for it in, we were staying in a hotel that was obviously outside Temple Bar, and we were walking into Temple Bar, and it was in one of the pubs that was sort of in between the hotel and the touristy bit.
One of the expensive ones, basically.
Yeah.
Fucking pricey round there.
How much were you paying?
$12.50 a pint. It was my spin justice of the week a few weeks ago.
I did see that on a clip. Was it actually £12.50 a pint?
$12.50 a fucking pint. I was fuming.
I seem to remember having tiers as well, where I think like daytime it was a certain price, and then after.
Yes.
Is that still a
I
thing?
think they can hike it up.
That's fucking.
The more
robbery.
bish you get.
I rate it though from their point of view. It's like you're gonna fucking buy it anyway, so we can do what we want.
Yeah.
But
They must be fucking raking it in
yeah,
at that.
we went for 2 days. It was the only lads' holiday I've ever been on, and
Fucking hell, mate. You need to fix that.
no, I'm too old now.
Shut up.
I only go on meditation retreats and shit like that from now on. But yeah, I remember it being like we spent as much in that weekend as I would on like a normal week-long holiday somewhere else.
We went for a
Fucking
couple
ruthless.
of days. But back to the hangover and the shot. I don't like tequila.
No.
My mates love a fucking baby Guinness.
I
They love a shot.
I do love a baby Guinness as well.
I don't mind them, but I'm not one for like, people know me now, so they know it's just going to piss me off. They turn up with a shot and I'm like, fuck's sake.
You know what bothers me? If you had that tequila rose.
Yeah, it's like a little milkshake.
Yeah, why the fuck are we doing shots of milkshake?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
A shot shouldn't be enjoyed. It should make you go, oh, I don't do that again. Like tequila rose is like, if I took my daughter out, she's 8, I imagine she could drink that and
She'd
like,
manage it.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
That's not a shot.
But do you know, funny enough, a lad has started coming to my spin classes, and he comes of a Tuesday. Anyway, he went out the weekend as well, same as you. Obviously got rat-arsed. And and he said to me, he was still dying on Tuesday. Fair play to him, he turned up, but he messaged me after and said he felt like he'd got in from work, say, I don't know, 3, had a little nap, got up about 5, done the spin class at 6:15. And then he said, I feel like it's reset me. I feel like I'm back.
I do think it helps.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes, especially for me at the minute, like I normally train all week, every week, on the weekend, whatever. But I had my most recent fight 2 weeks ago. Sustained quite a bit of damage to my face and my hands.
You've still got a bit of bruising, haven't you?
Yeah,
around your eyes and stuff.
I've never done a podcast without bruises. Every podcast or interview or promo I've ever done, I've had fucking black eye, so kind of my thing now. But yeah, because my hands are injured and like I had a lot of pressure in my head, I couldn't do my conventional training. I couldn't go and box. I couldn't hit the bag. So any training that I was going to do this week would have had to have been altered anyway. And it's like having to, obviously my motivation's low anyway because I'm got delayed hangover. And I'm meant to be resting, but I can't really do that. But it's like any exercise I do now, I'm having to go out of my comfort zone and do something I don't normally do. So it requires extra motivation.
Yeah, of course. So what did you do this morning?
Next to fuck all, to be fair. Jumped on the treadmill, walked for a mile, and then did really, really light weights.
Yeah.
Really, really high reps. I didn't even break sweat, and it's fucking 20 degrees outside, so yeah.
Fucking let's just talk about the weather for a minute. 26 it's going to be today, apparently.
Is it still meant to rain at some point today?
I don't think so.
I saw a threat of like light showers today.
Do you know what I actually fucking love when it's really hot? A little thunderstorm. I love it.
Yeah, when you just feel the pressure change.
Yeah.
And I smell of wet grass.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I can smell a thunderstorm coming. I feel like I'm like, there's going to be a storm. I love it. But me and the kid, have you seen Ted? The film Ted?
Yeah, of course, we've seen Ted.
Thunder Buddies.
Yeah.
We look. Oh no, it's terrible that my kids have seen Ted. They saw it years and years ago. Oh god, yeah. My kid's favourite film's Legend, and we quote stuff to each other from it.
Legend.
Yeah, the
Tom
craze.
Cruise one.
Tom Hardy.
Oh, the new one.
With
Yeah,
the
yeah.
when he plays the two.
Yeah.
He plays Ronnie and Reggie. Please tell me you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. What the fuck am I thinking of? Is there an old film called Legend?
Don't know,
I
probably.
think Tom Cruise played the devil in it or something.
Carl, any knowledge? Google.
I'm sure it's Legend.
It's one of my
How old are your kids again?
12 and 15.
See, I feel like Legend's like it's not a bad thing for them to watch at that age.
It is when you're about 7.
Oh, is that how long they're watching it? Oh, fair enough.
There was?
Film, Tom Cruise.
I am showing my age now.
Yeah.
1985.
Oh,
That's
geez.
the year I was
wasn't even
born.
fucking born then.
I was
to be
born
fair.
in 85.
I came along a year or two after that.
So we say, like Thunder Buddies, when there's a storm coming and we all like get in one of the bedrooms and like get up the window and watch it. I love it.
I fucking love a thunderstorm.
And me.
I like do a lot of wild camping and stuff as well.
Do you?
And some of the best camping trips I've had have been when it's like a thunderstorm. There's something about the sound of rain on fabric. It's like rain on a conservatory, rain on a caravan, all the fucking same thing.
Do you ever listen to sound when you're going to sleep?
No, I'm a TV watcher, to be fair.
No, I don't mean I do that. But if I can't sleep, I listen to like a soundscape or a soundcast.
I can't do it. It's too boring.
I'm gonna after.
I suppose that's kind of the point.
Yeah, no, but there's one. A lot of people that know me quite well. There's one specific called Cabin Downpour, and it's my most listened to, noise to go to sleep, and it is literally rain.
Do you do that every night?
Nah, because I normally put the telly on and fall asleep because I'm knackered anyway.
Yeah.
If it's raining outside, I'm literally buzzing my tits off because I'm like, I'm going to sleep like a baby
that's like
tonight.
a paradox though, isn't it? 'Cause it's like, I want to stay awake and listen to it, but I also want to fall asleep listening to it.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm a sucker for like my new house. I haven't got a log fire. I had one at my last house. But I used to love sitting in the living room reading with the log fire crackling. It was just my jam.
Yeah.
So my new favourite thing to do is put my TV on, go on YouTube, type in log fire crackling, watch a log fire crackling on the TV, and sit there reading. It's not the same, but
Glass of red wine or not?
I'm always training and I. So,
Yeah.
And I don't want to ever drink again after last weekend. So yeah,
That'll change.
Future plans are out the window.
I had 4 months off the drink, I told you. So I didn't drink from December to Dublin. 4 months.
Good way to break it.
Yeah. And I just feel like and this is the whole fucking reason I didn't drink, because especially when the sun comes out, I turn into an alcoholic and want to quit my job.
You're British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the last few days, it's like, oh, the sun's out, like fucking have a beer in the garden, obviously. So like last night, I got back from spin, 3 beers and a Chinese in the garden with my mate who lives 2 doors up.
Yeah, I've never been a home drinker, to be fair. Lockdown, that was different, obviously. There was fuck all else to do, so I became a stay-at-home alcoholic. But I've never... My problem is when I start drinking, I get really fucking energetic, really annoying, really... not loud, but loud. I like to pester people and annoy people. I like to talk and whatever. I've never been the type of person to drink to relax.
Okay.
Different. It just doesn't work with me.
Yeah. See, I am a in-the-house drinker, but I'm also like that.
Yeah,
when I go out, so.
A bit of obvious.
Yeah. So I kind of like, I need to. The thing is now, it's like 6 weeks to my 40th, so there's lots planned, and I know I will be drinking.
What are you doing for your 40th?
Everything and anything.
40 things.
Yeah, I've got. So Dublin was the first.
Right. Okay.
So from April to it was September. It's now October. There's a weekend away every month.
Wow.
And that's with different groups. So there's like my day ones, then there's like my old police mates, then there's my family, then there's another group of mums.
You know the problem with like big birthday, milestone birthdays, like you're always celebrating them with your friends who are also the same age, so they come in like fucking swarms. When like I was 30, it was everybody's 30th birthday.
Yeah.
Or like weddings are the same as well. When everyone's at like getting married age, every fucker's getting married. So you're doing a year or two where you're fucking like 7 or 8 different weddings.
Yeah. A very good introduction onto the wedding/marriage topic.
To the transition there.
But it wasn't planned at all, was it? So I want to talk to you about previous marriages and stuff, because I think, because we've been chatting for a while now, like, you know, we met, I think it may have been like series 1, maybe around the George Thorpe episode.
Yeah, George Thorpe that got me onto it, yeah.
Yeah. And so I knew that you'd had previous marriages, like myself. And if I remember rightly, it was around that or those times where your mental health might have had a bit of a knock, and that's what got you more into the boxing, am I right?
Yeah. So I've had 2 failed marriages.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Although my mum's actually beat me, she had 4 failed marriages. So yeah.
Oh no. Is she married now, your mum?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. This is marriage number 5 now. Yeah. Yeah,
Ledge.
no, I'm not going for her record. She's fucking undefeated champion, and I ain't even going near it. So yeah, basically, because there's a lot there. My first marriage was to my daughter's mom, and it was. I've never really had many relationships throughout my life, and it was like my first proper relationship. That sort of, looking back on it, it's hot. It's weird to say it wasn't really a memorable relationship considering we got married. I think it was just because I hadn't really done the whole relationship thing that I just kind of had this relationship and I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. We're making this work, and I just kept nodding and smiling my way through the rest of it.
How old were you then?
I think we were 21 when we got together.
Yeah.
No, no, we were together when I was 23. Sorry, got together when I was 23. And we separated when I was 30. So it was a long relationship. I'd had girlfriends and stuff before, but nothing ever really serious. I was just a lad.
Yeah.
But then, throughout the course of the relationship, there was a lot of problems. She was very outgoing, very sociable, a little bit erratic. I mean, we get on now, so like, you know, I know I can get away with saying this, but she was a bit fucking screw loose when she was younger. Very impulsive with spending, with nights out, with drinking, with whatever else. And it started to become a bit of a problem.
Is that the opposite to you then? Is that?
We both started out, we're both in our early 20s to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've always liked a night out, but I can live without them. And I was starting to get to that point where, you know, we'd bought a house together, we had dogs. This was kind of before our daughter came along. My career was going good, and I was starting to concentrate on that sort of like building something. Money wasn't in abundance either. We both had a little bit of debt around us. And yeah, it just, to me, I was like starting to prioritise. I was like, well, we can't afford like these holidays and stuff that you want. We can't afford all these nights out that you want. But she was like, well, I'm fucking doing it anyway. Because we later found out that she was bipolar. Not just my personal opinion either. Even though I was fucking saying it for years. But like medically diagnosed as bipolar. And I think that led into a lot of her decision making and her impulsiveness and her emotional instability. Like she was a picture postcard of what bipolar is. She was fucking fantastic some days, and then other days she not get out of bed for 2-3 days, and yeah, she had her demons.
Which we all do. And this, we talked before, didn't we? Because obviously every guest that comes on gets a plan, and I always ask people if there's anything that's off the table. And this obviously is by no means a character bashing of anybody. It's interesting to talk about because I would say a lot of people, I know loads of people that have either experienced the same thing or been in similar relationships, myself included. So I feel like it is like interesting to talk about because it ultimately will lead to the breakdown of a relationship, won't it?
Yeah.
If it's causing such a
The weird aspect of it though was towards the end of the relationship. I mean, the relationship was fucked. Like I think we felt like a duty of care to each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like the love was kind of long gone at that point. If was ever there in the first place. No, it was there in the first place, to be fair. But yeah, I feel like the love had died, and we just wanted what was best for each other.
Yeah.
But that's not a relationship. So realistically, probably should have pulled the plug fucking way before we did. But I had that fear of starting again. I know this now. At the time, I was just clinging on for dear life. But looking back at it, I can say I just didn't. My confidence was shot. I'd properly let myself go. I was fat, out of shape. Didn't go to the gym. Wasn't really looking after myself. We had a mortgage together. We were married. We had a daughter. We had dogs. We had fucking shared financial interests and whatever else. And it was just, to me, it was this overwhelming, like, well, if this goes fucking south, I've got to deal with all of that shit.
But this is the reason why so many people stay. And I've talked about it time and time again. In particular, we've recently done a love episode on people staying for the sake of the house, for the sake of the kids, even for the sake of the dogs or the in-laws, or because everyone gets on really...
I get it, because
I've been there myself.
Trying to justify all of that to myself.
Yes, but ultimately, if it's not meant to be, it won't. And at some point, it will come to an end, no matter how hard you keep trying.
Yeah.
And I know so many people that are going through it at the moment that are trying to put that plaster on. If it's not meant to be, it will not be.
Yeah, you have a certain point, just got to have that word with yourself. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it's easier said than done because I've been there myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should have pulled the plug way sooner than we did, and it did get to the point of us being like quite toxic towards each other. But I mean, the relationship was already in decline anyway, and we'd already talked about separating. But the big nail in the coffin for me was my best friend died.
Okay.
He passed away, committed suicide. Um, Again, somebody who struggled with his mental health massively. And when that happened, I was just fucking distraught for weeks. Started drinking, which, as we've discussed, ain't really something that I'm very good at. Started drinking, and just over the 2-3 weeks following his death, I could barely get myself dressed on a morning. I was fucking distraught. I was sidelined. It was such a tornado of emotions that I'd never thought I'd have to deal with. But once I started to sort of find my way out of that, it did make, I had that like fucking awakening that everybody does where you lose somebody close to you, where you realise fucking our life's really short.
Yeah.
And every story he's ever told is every story he's ever going to tell. Every memory that everyone's got of him, that's all the memories they're ever going to get. And I thought, I'm fucking here in a relationship that neither of us want to be in, clinging on for something to change when in reality it's just got fucking worse over the last couple of years. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
So,
just give you that kick up the arse.
yeah, so we pulled it apart. She went to live at her mum's. The house went up for sale. We separated. And that was the start of me starting to like. My mental health was quite fucked at that time through losing my friend, through being in a toxic relationship, and financial stresses. And I remember the big thing for me was, fuck, I've got to start again. How do I start again? Like,
But
I'm at
at
the bottom.
30, is this how old you were?
Yeah, 30, yeah.
Like, that, I think, is really young.
Yeah, now I know, yeah.
So like, I
Now
feel
I
like
wake up and my ankles hurt because I'm fucking older.
yeah, but
30
like,
was a good
I
time.
know people that are starting again in their 50s. And like, I still think, yeah, it's sweet, you'll be fine.
My
Like,
dad's done it in, I think he was 58.
Yeah.
He started again. But it was a big fear at the time, and that weighed quite heavy on me. And I just remember feeling quite overwhelmed because when we sold the house, we took an equity loan out, not I took an equity loan out to pay off a load of debt. So my equity return on it was quite shit. It wasn't enough to get a house. So then in my head, I'm looking at my wages and thinking, oh, I can't even afford fucking rent and da 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 da. So yeah, I was struggling quite a bit at that time. But then I started doing the right things, going to the gym, started looking after myself, getting regular haircuts, sunbeds, started actually thinking about what I was wearing. And my confidence came up, and then I met wife number 2. And that was...
hang on a minute. So did you went through a divorce? Or was
The
that still
divorce
ongoing?
actually came later.
After, yeah.
We sort of sold the house and split any assets, like, upon separation.
Yeah.
So by the time the divorce came around, it was literally just a tick box exercise.
Yeah, pretty much like me as well.
So yeah, I met wife number 2, who was... I'd known her most of my life anyway, but it was my... the friend who passed away, it was his sister.
Right.
And in a roundabout way, his death had brought
Trauma bond.
fucking trauma bond. And yeah, that was a very good relationship for the time it lasted. And I think because of all the shit that had come before it, that felt like this is the glimmer of hope. This is what it was all for. This is the happily ever after. And yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was a good relationship while I was in it, and you know, I did feel like while I was there that this is me now. This is what everything else has been building up to. And I felt content, and I felt like it was going to be, yeah, we're really going to build something now. The last one was just a trial run. But with any, you know, like trauma bond relationship, the seams start to come undone after a certain point.
Yeah, because, and I don't know in all cases, but I mean, like, the rose tinted glasses play a big part in a lot of relationships. If you're not healed yourself fully, you're going to overlook things that you might not. If you were fully healed, I've had this conversation with someone this week, ignoring things that you might not necessarily ignore. And then obviously, again, if it's not meant to be, it will not be.
I think for me as well, I've realised that because obviously she just lost her brother, so she was at the lowest of the low. I just lost my best friend and had a relationship breakdown and everything else. So I was at the lowest of the low. I think because we saw this glimmer of hope in each other,
Yeah.
any feeling that you get when your base level is so low is going to feel, like ecstasy.
Yeah, euphoric.
You're going to be, euphoric. You're going to be on such a high because of where you've come from, which is probably what attributed to it all feeling so special. Because it did feel special at the time, and it was a love story. We had this horrible thing happen to us, and it had brought us together, and there was a lot of good there. But then when it did fall apart, because it was kind of unexpected for me, it was sort of her decision to call it a day. It was like 2 months after the wedding.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. I've never actually made a first wedding anniversary.
Oh.
I know, yeah. I'm really good at being a boyfriend, but I'm clearly not cut out to be a husband.
I don't know.
Well, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But, we got there to the breakup point, and it just fucking came out of the blue for me. But it was that catastrophic that overnight I'd gone from being in like quite a good place to being homeless, like suicidal, fucking angry, like bitter, because I just felt like at that point life's been kicking me in the fucking teeth for too long now. I've had 10 years of false and like a bit of a rocky childhood as well, and then like this bit of promise in my first marriage that wasn't meant to be, and then this big bit of promise in my second marriage that wasn't meant to be. I just got to a point where I was so fucking sick of life trying to kick my fucking ass.
Yeah.
That I was that far away from calling it a day fucking multiple times.
Yeah.
And I did go off the rails in a big way. I was doing things that would have got me arrested for a good chunk of time. I was doing things that would have took my daughter's dad away from her, whether it would have been jail or fucking coffin.
Death,
I was never really got into substance abuse or drink or any of that. I was full of fucking anger.
Yeah.
And I was, without going too much into detail, I was doing bad things, and I was in bad situations, and it was a matter of time before, my fucking head would have fell off, and there wouldn't have been any coming back from it.
I just want to ask you on that, because I was having this conversation with my mate last night, because we're both single, me and my mate, and both had sort of relationships. I've only had one relationship since my marriage. Got to kick these off. I've only had one relationship since my marriage, but and obviously I'm no longer in that relationship. But as much as I feel like when I think about that relationship, I don't feel like I've got fond memories. I don't feel like it was for nothing. I feel like it had to happen.
Yeah.
Because it taught me so much about myself. It taught me so much about what I do and don't want in a relationship. And so I kind of feel like, even though for me, I was married to my kid's dad for a long time. I was with him for a long time, over 10 years. And then sort of when we split up, the kids were, well, my youngest was about 1 at the time. I mean, we did try and make it work a few times after that, but again, it's putting a plaster on something that's, you know, but like that. So I don't feel like, I feel like that was it. I felt contentment in that relationship. It was good. This other one I'm on about, I feel like I've just got nothing really nice to say.
Yeah.
However, I still know it needed to happen. I feel like it weren't a waste of like 3 years of my life. I feel like it because it taught me so much. Quick question for you. Do you know your love language, and do you know what a love language is?
So my current girlfriend has educated me on what love language is, more specifically what hers is, and my shortcomings on it. But I'm learning. I don't actually know what my love language is.
Right, you need to do a quiz. I'll try and send you a link.
Okay.
So basically, and this is the thing with relationships, is that you will give love in your love language, but that might not necessarily be your partner's love language. So for me, for example, I'm just over the moon if someone makes me a cup of tea. or cuts the grass
Yeah.
or cooks me dinner. So that's like acts of service. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I appreciate acts of service. I also appreciate affirmations. So if someone said to me, like, you're fucking smashing it, you are. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I would appreciate that. Whereas physical touch is not my love language. I'm not a public display of affection kind of person. I can do it. It's not like it's, I mean, I've talked on a recent episode where I said if someone tried to hold my hand, I'd freak the fuck out. But I just think that's been such a long time that I've been on my own. I feel like I can learn it again. If I met someone and that was their love language, I could do it.
That is interesting. So I genuinely don't know what mine is.
You need to know.
Like I know what my girlfriends are, and it's all very reasonable stuff, like a cute message out of nowhere for no reason, like that sort of thing. It's like I like that myself, but as for like what mine are, I think I'm so fucking laid back and easygoing. I'm just like, no, whatever.
But in order to make a relationship work, you need, and if you are invested in that person, I feel like you need to understand each other's love language, because they're going to do something for you, like cook your dinner, or cut the grass, or make you a cup of tea.
Food is always one, to be
Food's
fair.
definitely one.
Yeah.
If someone made me a cup of tea, see, Tom, my ex-husband, always used to bring me a cup of tea in the morning. Before he went to work, he'd bring me up a cup of tea and put it next to me. That, for me, is better than you could...
Yeah, that's a Rolex. That's a diamond ring.
Because I love a cup of tea in the morning, and now, like, I'm just so buzzing if someone makes me a cup of tea. Because I always have to do everything for myself. I have to cook for me and the boys. I have to do everything for us. So for someone to do something for me is like massive. But you might be with a partner and the ex-partner, that 3-year relationship I'm talking about, it wasn't important to him.
Yeah.
So he didn't get how important it was to me.
So that whole relationship could have been saved if you'd just flicked the fucking kettle on.
Basically, just put the kettle on, bab.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like a cup of tea is a fix all of everything, though, to be fair.
Yeah, and I feel like I know people who are in relationships where their partner's still 20 years into their relationship buys them flowers every week. That's their love language. Gifts is one.
Yeah.
So it's like acts of service, affirmations.
With that, like, I'm a fucker to buy for. I'm so hot because all of my like interests are so niche. Like, my dad, bless him, has like tried to buy me like boxing stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are those? It's like, well, these boxing gloves, they're in the colour you like. I'm like, yeah, but they're not 12-ounce lace-ups. Like, what are we doing here, Dad? Like, no, I'm sure you'll use them, though. Because I'm like, no, you can't buy me gifts just randomly. You need my input if you're going to buy me gifts.
And that's for like stuff like that, which I completely get. But you must have a favourite chocolate bar. In fact, top 3 chocolate bars, go.
Oh, fucking hell. Big into Twixes at the minute. You know what? I've never been about Twixes. I've never in my life been about them. But I actually called it a sympathy Twix the other day because I was feeling really fucking shit, probably hangover. But I found a Twix in the fridge at work. Don't know whose it was, but it was mine. I was mine.
Fair.
I found it.
Fair one if you're hungover.
And I needed it, and it was a fucking good. I'm not saying it's one of the all-time best, but
did you leave a post-it in its place?
I left a wrapper, empty wrapper. But no, it was a really good Twix. I really enjoyed it. So that went straight to the top of the rankings.
Okay.
But I think it was more circumstantial. I think, on a random Wednesday that wouldn't have done. But the fact that I was feeling shit about myself, it was a good Twix. Number 2. I'm very vanilla with my tastes. So like plain chocolate, plain Cadbury's Dairy Milk chocolate.
That's a good one.
It is a fucking good one. I don't get like Oreo chocolate bars where you're fucking mixing loads of flavours or caramels. Nah, keep all that shit away from me. If I wanted caramel, I would go and get caramel. I want a chocolate bar, give me chocolate.
Okay.
And third, I'd probably say I love a chomp.
Oh my God.
Chomps are
Said no one ever.
I know. I'm a council kid. I grew up on fucking shit food.
It's got caramel in.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I didn't care. I'm talking about fond childhood memory chocolate bar.
Basically, they get left in all the selection boxes, don't they, the chomp?
I fucking love
and
a chomp.
you're loving them all?
I love a chomp. Absolutely love a chomp. Freddos as well. I've got a bit of time for them.
Yeah, but they're
You
fucking
tell I'm on a budget,
expensive.
can't you?
Expensive now, Freddo.
I know, yeah. 45p.
My top 3, I'm with you here. I love a Dairy Milk. But top for me would probably be a Ripple.
I like the texture of a Ripple.
I love a Ripple. Do you know what? I'm going to really... I like a Mintero.
I don't mind a Mintero, to be fair.
Mintero.
It's one of the few flavours I can mix. Mint and chocolate is a good mix.
Right. Opinions on, the Marvellous Creations?
Yeah, I like them.
I like them.
I've just sat there and said I'm not into fucking mixing flavours.
It's the
Marvellous
popping candy
Creations
and all the
is a
bits
bit
that
of
are in
fucking
it.
everything. I like the texture of the jelly beans as well.
Yes.
When you get into it like halfway through and you get that little bit of chewiness. Like,
Yeah,
like a little
yeah.
reward.
See,
Here for
in
that.
fact, that might be number one for me. Then the Ripple, then the
Here's a
Mintero.
big question for you. Chocolate in the fridge or room temperature?
Room temp.
Oh, nah.
All day.
Nah.
What are you saying, Carl? Oh, no, your chocolate's room temp, yeah.
It's fucking 25 degrees in here. That's simply too hot for a chocolate bar.
Not normally, though, is it?
Yeah, it's Britain, to be fair,
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah.
But I feel like, so that, for example, the point I was trying to make is you must have a favourite chocolate bar, and that gift buying is what I'm talking about. Because for me, it's not the grand gestures, it's the little things.
Yeah.
So the boxing gloves, although that was a really nice thing of your dad to do, it's the little things in a relationship that I am about. So if someone bought me a bar of Marvellous Creations...
Jobs are good in.
Exactly. You know, a cup of tea and a Marvellous Creations.
Marriage number 3. No, 2. What are you
2
on?
for me.
2.
Yeah,
Number 2.
yeah, I'm going to start auditioning soon for number 2. But like, yeah, that for me is like, yeah. But then I honestly do think, right, and I really hope people get what I'm trying to say here. If you were in a relationship and you've got, and your love language is like mine, let's just use this for an example, and you're coming home, yeah, and no, you know, your other half sat with his fucking feet up, the grass needs cutting, the bins need taking out, he ain't put the kettle on, dinner still needs cooking. And hear me out. And then, because their love language is physical touch, they expect you to roll over and have a bit. You're fucking fuming at this point. So for me, it's got to be like foreplay starts with that kettle going on.
Yeah.
You've got more chance of that with me, and I guarantee you there'll be women and men listening to this. I think more women will be listening to this thinking, yeah, because you don't want to roll round.
I completely get that. Like, those little bits of resentment, like, that was my first marriage. There was, like, you know, I've always been quite independent, but when it comes to a point where you're having to be independent for 2 fucking people,
yes,
it's like, oh no, I've got to walk the dogs again because you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll do that. And then I'll come back, it's like, fucking hell, you haven't even, like, done the washing up and you've been in the house all day. Well, I've been in bed, I ain't very well. Like, fucking hell. And all of these little resentments build to a point where it's like, I actually fucking resent this person that I'm supposed to love. I'm contractually obliged to love at this point.
Yeah, so when it comes down to a physical side of a relationship, which is needed, it's dwindling, isn't it? Because you're thinking, well, I don't want to fucking have a roll around with you now because you've pissed me off.
You earned it is probably the wrong word, but...
Foreplay starts with the little things.
Well, yeah, you've got to fucking earn it. Like, you know, if you're going to be intimate, I've got to actually want to be intimate with you, and the only thing I want to do at this point is put a fucking frying pan over your head.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as far away from that as possible.
But I do think it all comes down, and I am learning, you know, at 40, that, okay, I feel like now, when I start looking for husband number 2, that this is in my head, you know, I'm thinking, foreplay starts with that kettle being put on. And if it's not, I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm know myself that much now that I'll be like, next.
You know, I think the big one for me is, like, my partner at the minute's got this dialed in. Like, we've had our ups and downs, but, like, because my life has been so fucking chaotic, generally all I want is peace. I don't want resistance. I don't want a fucking drama over a parking ticket. Like, if it's happened, whatever, it's not the end of the world. I've had it in past relationships where a parking ticket is fucking 2 bottles of wine and 2 days in bed, like, fucking...
Standard for us, isn't it, Carl?
Well, being around here...
Parking round here, fucking hell.
But that's the big thing for me. It's like, I just want peace. I just want a calm existence. My life outside of a relationship is fucking chaos anyway. So I can create my own drama in my life. When I'm home, when I'm in relationship, when I'm with partner, I just want a fucking easy time. Yeah. You know, I'm not saying easy time in the sense of let's not get the work done together. Yeah. But I just don't want the resistance. I don't want sadness. I don't want... Life will throw enough fucking sadness at you. Give it a few months, there's some shit around the corner, there always is. Yeah, and ultimately you just need someone who you can sort of coexist peacefully with, who's going to bring the best out in you, and you're going to bring the best out in them. That's what I'm looking for. Exactly that. But I kind of feel like... So, just quickly want to talk about divorce real quick, because like you've had 2, yeah? No. Still married? Still married? Still married, yeah. Bloody hell. I'm not paying for another one. I paid for the first one. Okay. So have you been separated longer than 2 years? Yes. Yeah, so... Yes. So for anyone that's listening that wants to go through a divorce, and it's changed since, because when
because the reasons have changed since my hair's flying around. So when I got divorced, we'd been separated for over 2 years and we'd been living apart for over 2 years. So it was literally 550 quid all done online.
I think that's what it was last time I did it.
So yeah, was it over 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
So I did it, applied for it, and then basically a letter gets sent to the other party. At that point they can contest.
Yeah.
Which he didn't, and then everything can be done online, and it was so quick. I'm not joking. From beginning to end, I think it was like, I want to say August to October.
Yeah, yeah.
Done.
I just remembered my first divorce, well, my only divorce. Me and the ex-wife were actually in the middle of an argument. It was in the middle of lockdown, and she was fucking. I can't. This was when she was going through a bad patch, and she was quite hostile, very fucking hostile, and she was sending a load of abuse at me, and she said something like, you should pay for my name to be changed. I never wanted your fucking second name anyway. I was like, oh, fuck off, sure, leave me alone. Blah, blah. And she came back with something like, I can't remember what she said, but she was basically fucking terrorising me, and I thought, I know what'll be a mic drop. So I fucking went on gov.uk, applied for divorce, send payment, send address, click send, confirmation of your like divorce pending. And I just screenshot it and send it to her. She said, go fuck yourself. And she changed the tune instantly. She was like, oh, I'm glad you've done that, thanks.
Yeah.
Fucking should have done this years ago.
Yeah, so a lot of people I know are still married, obviously now you included. It's easy if you, like you say, just do it or not. I know it's a bastard because you've got to pay like 550 quid and whatever.
Yeah.
It is. But I think just, even for the financial side of things, because she'll still be entitled to half your shit because she's legally married to you.
Yeah, I ain't got no shit.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing that can be proven to be mine anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, you know, especially in the police world, obviously there's pensions to be had, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and a lot of people talk about going after each other's pensions.
I travel light for this exact reason.
So I think, yeah, it is easy. So it was really easy for me to do. Go on.
Isn't there another? I think isn't it after 4 years?
Oh, is it?
You can just dissolve it.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something. Somebody at work did something similar. I don't know. I'll have to look into it, but I'm sure it was literally like a £70 application fee. She's probably getting on 4 years now.
Yeah.
No, 3 years. I don't know.
So just on the name side of things, because I mean, me and Tom get on well. We've had our ups and downs. I've talked about it quite a bit on here, but he said to me when we got divorced, I want you to change your name. Because I'm still Owens, because I'm still married to him, but my kids are Owens. So I sort of was like, I'm not changing it.
It's not his say really at this point. It's your name.
Well, it is my name, and he was like, "Oh, he did say to me he wanted me to change my name," and I was like, "If I change it, the kids are getting changed back to my maiden name with me," and it just sort of like that pretty much ended it.
Yeah,
and it never come up again. But I mean, now obviously me and the boys, we're Owens, but if I was to meet someone now, because the boys are teenagers, like, it's less of a thing now. It's not.
Yeah, this ain't the 60s or 70s.
Yeah. So if I met someone and decided to get married again, I would take their name and I wouldn't be Owens with the boys.
Yeah.
But it meant a lot when they were at primary school and you go to a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff, you know, like it just meant a lot to me.
Like, yeah, I don't know why people are so married to that, like having to keep everybody's name the same. Like, my name's only Ashton because my dad's mom married a guy named Ashton. It's not his name, so like, but I fucking believe in it. My name should be Hall. That's what my actual like genetic granddad's name was. But yeah, I don't know why people would do that, change their kids' names just because they're in a new relationship afterwards.
Yeah. See, like, they'll always be the same as their dad.
Yeah.
But I might get married again. But I never wanted to go back to my maiden name. I don't know why. But yeah, it will come up in most relationships. I guarantee.
I don't even know if like my ex-wives have still got my name or not, to be fair.
Ex-wives, send me the out.
Plural.
Right, so parenting, because obviously there's kids that come out of these marriages and stuff. So you've got an 8-year-old daughter. My boys are 12, 13 this year and nearly 15. So like boy mum, girl dad.
Girl dad. I was going to say girl mum then. But
yeah.
2025 could be whatever I want to be.
Yeah. And I know for a lot a long time you were single parenting her, which we've talked about recently, haven't we, Carl? Because it's one, you know, we wanted to do an episode on it, which probably won't do a whole episode on it, but like it's just good. A lot of blokes now are bringing kids up on their own.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more and more common, I think.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was doing it for a long period of time. It's kind of been sporadically for big periods of time.
Right.
Like, because of my ex-wife's mental health struggles, there has been times where, without going into too much detail, she's been too unwell to parent effectively, making some of the wrong decisions, wrong choices, and not putting my daughter in any danger, but just maybe not putting her at the top of a priority list. Fortunately, my ex-wife's mom is a fantastic woman, and she has helped massively bring my daughter up. So much so that I haven't had to I haven't had to give up things like work, boxing, whatever else. But there has been periods of time where she's effectively come into my custody, without going through the whole court thing and whatever else. And we've done that for like months at a time. Again, being helped by current partner, family. My daughter's nan from my mum's side, from my ex-wife's side. But it's a fucking struggle as a bloke, massive struggle. When I was at the cottage, which is over Illy, that was about an hour away from my daughter's school. So what I was having to do, like, work her in the picture, and they knew that, like, you know, there's a bit of turmoil going on with whatever, and they're really good. They're so flexible with me, it's untrue. I would have to get my daughter up at 6, take her to my dad's or my sister's or my girlfriend's, go into work until 8, then come out of work, grab her, take her to Kings Swinford where she was at school, then shoot back to work, do the rest of the day, and then 2 o'clock, leave work, go over to Kings Swinford, take her to my sister's or my dad's or my missus, whatever, then back to work, then work to the end of the day, and then go and pick her up. And it was like, I only had to do that for like 3-4 weeks before her nan from my ex-wife's side sort of really stepped up. But that was just a snapshot of what proper single dads do. And I thought, fucking, that genuinely gave me a whole new appreciation for single mums.
Yeah.
That brief bit of time. And, you know, I've got 1 kid.
Yeah.
You know, you've got, what, 3?
I've got
boys?
2.
2 boys. Plus you juggle a full-time job, plus the spin thing, plus podcasting, plus whatever else. Like, that is a fucking grind that nobody speaks enough about.
And it's not just the doing, it's the mental load. It's, they need the PE kit for tomorrow. He's got a hole in his trousers. He needs new school shoes. He's got boxing 4 times this week. He's got rugby twice this week. It's all the mental stuff. You know, it's constant, actually constant. See, I always say, I'm single, but I'm not a single parent. Tom's great. He's brilliant. He's a really good dad. We've got a really good pattern, but they are with me the majority of the time.
Yeah.
Because they live with me. You know, it's, holidays are great because, like I say, we've got a court order in place where, say, the school holidays is a 50-50 split. Well, they're off school for 13 weeks of the year. Yeah. So the 6.5 with me and the 6.5 with him. That's how it has been for quite a while. So there is a fair split, and he is fantastic. But I think the mental load falls a lot to the mum. Yeah,
definitely. I couldn't have done that period of time without, because like me, I'm very objective. If it's like, okay, pack lunch, okay, let's sort that. Oh, we ain't got that. Okay, come on, we'll go to the shop, we're doing this. Okay, come back. Oh shit, uniform. Okay, I can tick boxes all day long, and I can operate on very little sleep. But that doesn't leave much time for the, well, how are you actually getting on at school? Like,
no quality time.
What's going on? Like, what are your playground interactions like? What's this? You keep mentioning this particular name of this particular kid. Is there something like, I didn't have time for that because I was trying to fucking keep, you know, roof above head and whatever else. That's where the woman touch came in with my girlfriend, my sister, my daughter's nan. Like, they could still have those conversations with her and find out, like, you know, the emotional side of it. I was very much okay, let's get shit done. Whereas I couldn't provide that level of care, if that makes sense.
I get it. And it's so important because I find my boys are a real hormonal stage. So talk about hormones with girls, but fucking boys are, you know, really hormonal as well. And I feel like they're, you know, they sleep a lot and they eat a lot, and but they also have outbursts, and they also have outbursts of anger, but also outbursts of sadness. And like, the other day, I'm dealing with 2 separate boys having both separate issues, and I thought to myself, have I took my eye off the ball here a little bit, like you were just saying? So like, I sat like with one, and I was like, right, what's going on? Blah 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 blah. I always say to them, you can always tell me anything. Don't think you're ever going to shock me. I will have been there, done it, bought the t-shirt. Like, just tell me whatever it is. It's not going to make me love you any less. We'll come to a solution. And they know they can tell me anything. They tell me way too much, by the way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They tell me like things I do not need to know. But like, they're like, yeah, okay. But both of them were having a bit of a fucking crisis. And I was like, fuck, I'm so busy that like
how do I even factor this in?
Yeah, but do you know what? I just thought, fuck everything else. I just thought everything else can
I think that's a
away.
superpower, being able to just disregard
everything
all of the other
else.
Shit and just go, right, okay, family first.
This is all that matters to me. And as a result, I hadn't really got a holiday planned for this year. And off the back of that night, I thought, we need a break. And the next day, I literally went on to phoned up like a store, and I was like, right, this is my criteria. Can you find me something? And they're going to email me back today, she said. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to book us a holiday. The one thing I've learned from doing this podcast and having my eyes opened to a lot of stuff is just do what you need to do. Like, no one's telling me when I'm taking my kids on holiday, the school included. You're telling me when I'm taking my kids away. We need a break now, so we're going now.
Yeah.
Like, and I just kind of feel like, I just feel that I'm not an overthinker anymore. I used to overthink a lot, but now I'm just like, okay, because I'm so busy, issue gets presented, sort it. Issue gets presented, sort it. But yeah, I feel like at the minute with my parenting, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff going on.
See, like she's 8 now, and she's Lil's very intelligent, like very emotionally intelligent as well, because she's been through a few things herself, and had to deal with some weird situations. The fact that she's sometimes being brought up by mom, sometimes being brought up by dad, sometimes being brought up by nan, and she's got 3 different influences in her life. One's very bullheaded, one's very emotionally charged, and one's very like very sweet and caring, almost to a fault, because she's a nan, but she's also acting like mom. But I'm starting to have more conversations with her now, and some of the stuff she's coming out with is like, oh, this is kind of above my pay grade. Like, I don't feel equipped to deal with this. I feel a little bit like I'm shortchanging her sometimes. Like, she'll have some drama at school. She'll feel like she's been left out by certain friends, or overlooked by a teacher or whatever. And I almost downplay it, like, you've just been a bit sensitive. And then, obviously to her, that's effectively being pushed away. But then I'll get feedback from a mom or from a nan where they'll say, like, okay, we've spoke to Lily at length about this situation, and and she's saying that this has happened and this is the way it's making her feel. And I'm like, this is actually a much bigger thing that's clearly playing on my daughter's mind. And I've just fucking overlooked it.
Because their minds are so much simpler than ours.
Yeah. I think a part of it as well is because I deal with big problems. I kind of look at her problems as small problems.
Yeah, because it is to us.
Yeah, but in reality, to that little person, that's the biggest fucking problem in their life. They ain't got to worry about a mortgage. They ain't got to worry about a relationship breakdown. All they're worried about is why
little Jessie's not talking to me anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. And why they were best friends 2 days ago and now they're not even fucking speaking.
Yeah.
And that's something I have to, like, I'm learning about myself, to be fair, that I'm too quick to brush off things like that.
And I'm learning every fucking day about teenage boys. I tell you what, like, I feel like I am like their mate sometimes, i.e. let's put Legend on.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Or watch Ted, or just like do stuff like that. Have your mates over, have a sleepover if you want. Like, like, and we're at the stage now as well with my eldest where we'll go somewhere and I'll maybe be having a drink in a block and have a cider, and I'll let him.
How old is he?
15.
It's old enough.
Oh, he's bigger than me.
I was going to say, fucking I'm 13, I was over the park doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. But like, like I'll be like, oh yeah, you can have a cider, mate. Like,
I do feel like you do need to be their mate a little bit, though.
You
as
do.
much as a voice of reason as you need to be.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I only have to give them the look and they know they've took it too far.
Yeah.
Like,
with my daughter, when I start swearing.
Yeah.
Like, most of the time, like, we laugh, we joke, she's got ruthless banter and whatever. But if I, like, turn around and say, well, you're taking the fucking piss out of me now.
Yeah.
She's like,
ooh.
Shit.
Yeah, you see, every other word of mine's a swear word in the house.
Yeah.
And the kids.
I do swear quite freely. It's more when it's direct, when it's, are you fucking mugging me off, kid?
yeah.
Oh,
shit.
no, you're mugging me off, Dad. Shit.
Yeah. So no, it's hard, and it like the parenting side of things. Right, I've got a dilemma for you, and I want your opinion on this as well, Carl. Right, I think since I've been doing this podcast, people think I'm like fucking Judge Judy or something, and I get interesting.
Didn't strike me as judgy, but
Yeah, no, not at all. But I think I actually feel like I could be like an agony aunt because people come to me now with problems.
okay.
Right, so I had a message in my inbox the other day. I'm not going to mention any names. This was the dilemma.
Okay.
From a man. Okay, so I went out the weekend. Oh, it started off with like, hey, I've got a dilemma and you're the decider. Okay, off we go.
Is somebody close with or just random
No,
follower?
not close to.
Okay.
Know them, not mates with. If I've seen them, say hello. But that's about it. I was out the weekend and I saw my mate's missus all over another bloke. When I say mate, not a close mate, not like would ring them up and go out drinking with them, but a bit closer than an acquaintance. Okay? What shall I do? So I sort of asked the questions, how close are you to that person? Because I kind of live my life by, if it doesn't affect me or mine, I'll stay the fuck out of it. So if it doesn't directly affect me, and when I say mine, I mean my closest pals and my family, of which we are a unit, yeah? So if it was, I don't know, someone I loosely know, I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, this conversation went on for about an hour of like not knowing what to do.
I do love these random conversations.
I know.
Yeah.
And I was actually like, I don't actually fucking care. So what would you do?
I mean, if it's somebody who...
There's a family involved, by the way. So he was saying I could potentially say something and break down a family, but then I don't want them to know that I knew and didn't say anything.
You know what? Unless it was somebody close to me, I wouldn't say fuck all.
Yeah.
Or if it was somebody who I felt like probably should know. Like, obviously you should know, but I mean, like, if somebody was... if I had a duty to let that person know, I'd tell them. But,
and you know who your duties are to.
Yeah.
Surely at this age in our lives, we know who we've got that duty to.
Yeah. But the bigger reason for probably not fucking saying anything is I've known people do this. I can't think, there's an example somewhere in my head, but I've known somebody who found out somebody was on Tinder, who was like in a relationship with this person. They reported it back to the person and said, look, screenshot, like, I've seen this on Tinder.
And they ended up the bad guy.
Yeah. It's like, why are you always trying to fucking break our relationship up? You're nothing but fucking jealous. Like, I ain't the cunt who's on Tinder.
Yeah.
Fucking have a word with yourself.
Second C-bomb dropped.
Second
C-bomb dropped. Glimpenau was the first.
Really?
Yeah, my mum warned me at the beginning not to. And I've been so good, haven't I? Because it is in my vocab.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did that get you pulled off YouTube?
Nah.
Oh, fuck
no. So, Carl, what would you do?
Wouldn't say anything, to be honest. If we're not close, I've got no proof.
Yeah, I don't think there's any proof. There's no pictures or anything. Like, you know, it's just
I'd probably pull her to one side and be like, I know what you did. I saw you.
Interesting dynamic.
Just so you could potentially blackmail at a later date. No.
Well, maybe, yeah. You never know.
So you're turning into a power trip thing then,
Exactly,
yeah? Just let her know, I'm in charge now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I want this much every week.
Yeah.
And then go and tell him, and then say she's also she's blackmailing me.
She's accepting bribes as well
You get
now.
paid from both sides.
Yeah. So basically, I don't know what he did. I might message him and say, "What did you actually do?" Like, because I'd really love to know. But I said, "Listen, if this relationship's on the rocks, whether you have your input or not, it's going to go the way it's going to go, regardless. Okay. So whether you say what you've seen, which potentially you might end up the bad guy, by the way, and you're not that close to them either. But do you know what? I spun it and I said to him, if you saw him doing the same thing, would you tell her? And he said no.
Keep your nose out of it then.
Yeah, just stay the fuck away.
I said, there you go then. I would say, unless you have to get involved in that, stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah, people are tricky anyway.
So if it was bothering him that much, he should have said something there and then.
There and then. Just a little tap on the shoulder. Right, Bab?
Bye.
Yeah.
Just from across.
Yeah, I feel like he's let it go too far now. Now he's had to like run it by other people.
But I
It's
was
like,
thinking about it and I thought, oh, I'm going to bring this up on the podcast. It's a good topic to sort of get other people's opinion on.
I like his position the most. How can I extort money from this situation?
Yeah.
So we'll go with that.
Yeah.
You might
Right.
Make this a regular thing, Hayley.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? I think I could probably get an agony aunt page the way it's going.
You get the dilemmas in.
I'll have a
I'll
column.
write newspapers.
Yeah.
I feel like it works with the backdrop as well. Yeah.
Mrs. Doubtfire vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've missed something out. I wanted to ask you about your goals with the boxing. So what's next? Because I've recently seen that you've advertised one.
Yeah. So obviously, with the boxing, I've gained kind of mad traction since Christmas. So I've done like unlicensed gloved boxing for like 3 years, and just before Christmas, I had a boxing match in Wolverhampton, and I'm not gonna say it went viral, but it did good numbers for a couple of reasons. One, it was a quick stoppage. I battered him to a stoppage in 3 minutes. But two, I got walked out by a load of bikers.
Ah, yes.
And it created a bit of a buzz. Obviously, that sort of stuff's promotional gold for any boxing promotions. So that kind of got like a few eyes on me. And then we had a rematch for that fight just after Christmas. And I did much the same. Stopped him in the third round. But I came out with even more bikers. There was like 30 Hells Angels in the ring. It was
Brilliant.
It was something to be seen. But that got a lot of eyes on me. And then a month after that, I had a random phone call asking if I'd fight bare knuckle against a former world champion, former UFC athlete, also fought on Bellator, Bama. He's like fucking champion of a million different things. Guy named Mark Godbeer. Very good, very fucking dangerous bloke. And they basically couldn't find anybody else to fight him. So they phoned me. I asked how much. They told me the price. We agreed it. I went down and I fought him, but it wasn't a fight that on paper should have ever been matched.
Yeah.
You know, I'd had one bare knuckle fight at this point that I'd lost, and I'm being matched up against a former bare knuckle boxing heavyweight world champion. But I went down there. Everyone was fully expecting me to get the shit beaten out of me, and we had a proper scrap. It was a very bloody, violent scrap. He cut my head open, cut my chin open. I tore his retina, cut him down the top of his head, broke his nose, fucked him up. Now, nobody was expecting that to happen because he's a somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm effectively a nobody in bare knuckle. So off the back of that got a lot more attention. And then I got approached by BKB, which is one of the biggest bare knuckle boxing promotions in the world, basically saying, we've seen you fight with Godbeer. Can you come and fight for us? We're interested in getting you on. You look like you can have a row. So I had that fight for them last weekend. And again, I turned up and I think, at this point, I've just lost 2 bare knuckle boxing matches. I'm nobody special in bare knuckle. I've turned up and we didn't get awarded fight of the night. But if you look at the YouTube videos and stuff that have come out since, like our fight that we had on Saturday was the most viewed fight from that night.
Okay.
It was a war. It was an absolute war. It's one of those fights where even though I lost, nobody really lost in that fight.
Yeah.
Because it gained so much fucking traction.
Yeah.
That everybody's talking about it. My inbox has been filled with people from the Middle East, America, Southeast Asia, all up and down the UK, basically saying, mate, that was fucking brilliant.
Good.
So, in answer to your question, what's next is, in the boxing world, I'm just going to switch over to bare knuckle full time because I do want to keep picking up the odd glove fights here and there just to keep the rust off.
Yeah.
But not for like in the way I was before where it's like push for titles, call people out, get bigger fights. Like I'm just going to do it as paid sparring. But the bare knuckle, that's entirely where I'm going to focus my efforts. Whether I'm going to go for world titles and stuff, I ain't the sort of guy that's going to go, you know, oh yeah, I'm the future of this sport or anything. Because I've got fucking 3 losses. I've got no right to be calling anybody out or staking my claim. But I'll get such a fucking buzz out of it.
Yeah.
Like I've done all the drugs. I've done all the nights out. I've done all the fast cars, fast bikes. Nothing comes close to that feeling that you're getting a proper fucking scrap in bare knuckle.
If you could bottle it up, you could sell it.
Yeah, it's literally lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
It's fucking irreplaceable. That feeling it's as close as you can get to being a god.
Yeah.
I would like to win. So
Don't we all?
the short answer to the question is I just want to win a bare knuckle boxing match. But as for how far I take it, I don't know.
Have you got one lined up? I'm sure I've seen something.
Yeah, September.
Yeah.
In Bristol on BKB again. I haven't got an opponent yet. Just got a month. Haven't even got a date. So.
Yeah, which is a nice break really from now to then.
Well, this is kind of tied into the parenting thing. So basically, they offered me one in July.
Yeah.
But because this year I've been so fucking active with fighting, it has impacted the time I'm spending with my daughter. And she's mentioned it now. Like, I was aware of it, but I know she's like proud of me for what I do, and I know she looks up to me. And a big reason why I do what I do is so that my daughter can say, my dad's Aaron Ashton, and it fucking means something.
Yeah.
So, but I know that the amount of time I've spent in fight camp has meant that I've probably spent a bit, like, you know, average Wednesday, I'm going to the gym. Average Thursday, I'm going to the gym. I want to not have that pressure on myself so that on a day like today, I can go, oh, fuck, going to the gym. I'm going to pick the baby up. We're going to go down to Bewdley, jump in the river, do whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've decided not to fight in July and fight all the way back in September.
Is that on the 5th? I know there's one 28th of June, isn't there? Then there's one the 5th of July.
That's the Birmingham one. That's
Birmingham,
BKFC.
yeah.
I don't know. Is there any sense?
Yeah, I speak to a couple of different like bare knuckle boxers if I've either got recordings lined up with them or people that approach me or just things that I see online. And I've seen that there's a couple sort of towards the end of June, beginning of July and onwards.
Yeah, I don't know the dates.
So September's perfect then.
It gives me a lot of time to get ready.
Yeah.
It gives me a whole summer to actually enjoy myself. Because I've been in fight camp for 3 years.
Yeah.
I've stayed active the whole fucking time.
It's graft.
And I'm getting to that point now where I'm like, you know, I've got myself a good name. Like, I'm on a lot of people's radars. You know, I should realistically keep pushing now, but you can't keep pushing at the rate I'm pushing at without getting a little bit of fucking backlash. And the backlash is, it's not affecting my relationship with my daughter, but if I leave it unchecked for too long, it will. Like, I don't ever want her to ever feel like she's coming second to something. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that she might be there now. So, yeah, I just want to put the fucking brakes on everything. Take her on holiday. Take her away on a weekend. Go and do, like, more just random shit in the week. Go for a steak together.
Yeah.
Just go for a walk over the fucking park. That sort of stuff. Because at the minute, it's just weekends. And she's coming to the gym with me on weekends. And it just ain't fair.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Right, it's been Justice of the Week. Have you got one?
Yeah, I had to fucking rack my brains for this, and it was technically just over a week ago, so I'm gonna have to incorporate it because I haven't inconvenienced much this week. I bought some fucking boxing boots. Now, these boxing boots,
where from?
Fucking Fight Equipment UK. Cunts.
Okay.
There's your third one. I bought them £185, and they're a work of art.
Yeah.
They are the most. They're called Nike Hyper KO 2.0s. I think they are. Anybody who knows anything about boxing knows that they are like the Ferrari of the boxing boots.
Yeah, yeah.
They're majestic. They're white. They've got crimson red accents. They look like something out of the future. Bought these boxing boots. Took them to the. Bear in mind, obviously, I fought last weekend. These boots came like a week and a half before that, so I only had a little bit of time to break them in and stuff. So they barely had any mileage on them. I probably wore them for 3-4 gym sessions. On the third gym session, the insole started to come out. And I thought, that's a bit fucking shit for a £180 boot. But I thought, oh well, maybe it's removable so you can just like wash it because it's obviously going to get sweaty, stinky gym stuff, whatever. So that happened. And then about the fourth gym session, I thought, these are still really fucking stiff. They're rubbing the shit out of my feet, like, and this ain't very good. But I thought maybe they're just that sort of thing you need to like really wear them in over a long space of time. But then fight night rolled around. I pulled the boots on, started to lace them up, and as I pulled the last lace, pulled both the fucking lace eyes off.
Nah.
Now bear in mind, this is before I'm about to walk out for a bare knuckle boxing match in front of 4,000 people, and I'm OCD. Like I have to pull my socks up and orientate the Nike signs to the right angle. I need to make sure my laces are all fucking perfect and everything. As stupid as it sounds, you can't have anything in the back of your head. That's,
no.
You know,
I get it.
You've got to be perfect. And yeah, I pulled the fucking boots to pieces. Now, obviously, have you seen the last fight?
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay, it was a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah.
So we punched lumps out of each other. There was blood everywhere, including all over my brand spanking new Hyper KO £180 boots. So I emailed the company the other day and I said I need to return these boots. There's issues. I've pulled the lace pulls off. The insoles have fell out, etc., etc. They said, can you please send some photos of them? Well, obviously they're fucking covered in blood, aren't they?
Of course.
So I've sent them the pictures of these blood spattered boots, and they said you can't return those. They're soiled. It's like they're fucking boxing boots that I brought 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've bought them specifically for this boxing match. They have literally fell apart at the fucking seams.
Before they got blood splattered.
Yeah, literally before the fight.
Yeah.
And I said that before the fight. They fell apart in the changing room, so I had to fight with defective boots.
Yeah.
I lost the fight, and that was probably down to the fact that the boots were shit.
Yes.
Probably not, but whatever. And they replied with, if it happened before the fight, you shouldn't have worn them for the fight. We're not willing to refund you.
Yeah, but you ain't got no other boots for you, and you're about to walk out. So what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, I'm going to do it barefoot.
Yeah.
Oh, I got so Karen. I was fucking trading standards this, trading standards that.
Yeah.
No reply. So, fight equipment, fuck you.
Yes.
Dickheads.
I know a bit about boxing boots because like Jack's into the boxing and we're always looking on sites, and he's recently had some new night boots and they were over £100, so I wonder where he got them from. Because my kids, by the way, they just buy things themselves now, and we're at this stage where the other day there was a parcel delivered to Jack, and I was like, took it upstairs, like, you've had this delivered? Oh, thanks, been waiting for that. Off Team You. Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know how to...
pocket money or what?
Yeah, they've got bank accounts. So like the dad sorts one, I sort one. So they've got and they've got their Apple wallets and all that. Like, and I'm getting parcels delivered to the house, and I don't know where they're from. Oh, thanks, been waiting for that.
Madness.
The fuck? Ice Bin Justice. Right, this is going to be a quick one because I had another one, and I'll save it because it'll come up again. I know it will. Carl, the roadworks around here are starting to really piss me off, and I know it's not in your control.
I'll just go speak to the chap.
Can you just tell them, please? Because disrupting every week's journey for me. And I'm coming from like the South Birmingham side, so my journey in every single fucking week, there's a different road that's closed, and it's pissing me off. So I'm going to keep it short this week and just say, every week, I don't mention it to you, but every week it fucking pisses me off. So that's mine for this week. I've got loads of others, but they're all in here.
We just slag the traffic off as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you got any shout outs?
Yeah, just a couple. I want to shout out Muslim Fitness Gym. They sponsor me, but also more than anything, it's a fucking good circle of mates, like-minded blokes. That's my version of a pub. Like,
okay, yeah, good.
I'll go there at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and you've got me and 5, 6 of my close mates. We'll all have a coffee. We'll have a catch up. Then we'll go and train.
Yeah.
Then we'll all fuck off to work for the day. None of us are pub goers, but that's like our little
that's nice
social hub. Yeah, it is nice. Something I think more blokes should have, to be
100%.
fair. A little social circle like that doesn't involve going out in the fucking piss.
Just as a side note to that, the episode that went out last week, sorry, it'll be the week before once this one comes out, Gisla, he's got the Sweat Gang community, which is Speak With Emotion and Trust, which is a similar thing, but it's a men's sort of check-in mental health thing. It's a WhatsApp group, but they're going to start to do the meetups. It's not gym related, but we were saying how much more we need to have of this. Not necessarily just for men, to be honest, for everybody.
Yeah.
But to have somewhere to turn.
Sometimes you need to put that sort of structure to it, though.
Yeah.
Just to have it as an outlet.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, up until a couple of years ago, I had no positive male people in my life. I had friends, I had pub friends, I had work friends, I had whatever. But now I've got the gym group where we go and we have a coffee every morning and we talk shit and we abuse each other and we have a laugh.
Yeah.
And it sets you up nice for your day. Then I've got the boxing group who are, you know, I'm fucking with them on a weekend, sparring, this travelling up and down the country, fighting, supporting each other and, like, you know, giving each other praise where it's needed, criticism where it's needed. Then I've got the motorbike crew, which we're going out on fucking bike rides and doing like the fun stuff, the riding fast bikes, going and seeing places, whatever. Like, these are 3 individual groups that I've got that they all sort of serve a different purpose.
It'll keep you on the straight and narrow, mental health wise, won't it?
Yeah, and you've got a million forms of backup as well. Like, if you're having a shit time, there's people there to prop you up. Fucking essential. Like, not enough blokes have got that either. You know, your lads who are going to take you down the pub and fill you full of fucking 12 points and a couple of bags of powder, they ain't your that ain't a support structure. That's
No.
a bunch of fucking dickheads who are just enjoying the spiral with you.
And that's just only going to go like that on a massive decline.
Yeah.
Whereas the other stuff you're talking about is only going to be growth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry, I've interrupted you there. Have you got another one?
I kind of just did them all then, though, to be fair. So there's a Muscle and Fitness Boys, there's a Wolvo 81 crew, and there's the Hitters Gym Boys, a bunch of bellends.
Mine, I think you're going to know. Okay. Safe Hands UK.
Do you know Jack?
Right.
And Jack, shout out Jack as well.
Right, so he's mine today, and I'll tell you why. Not only because of, so obviously it's boxing equipment, isn't it? Gloves, hand wraps, etc.
Good fucking guy, Jack is.
Yeah, so Safe Hands UK. So he's been following the podcast. He's listened to a good few episodes. Will give me the occasional feedback, which I really fucking appreciate, by the way. So when people tag me in stuff, that when they're watching it or when they're listening to it and they put me in their stories, I appreciate that, because sometimes you might have episodes where people will listen but they don't give you any feedback.
Yeah.
I want the feedback.
Yeah.
And he
good,
will.
Bad or ugly, it's
yeah,
important.
not bothered.
And you'll always get honest off.
Yeah, yeah. So we've like dropped each other the occasional voice note, and I knew that you knew him because
I
I'd
know
said.
Jack well, yeah.
But he's he's doing a good thing, isn't he? He's got that business on the go. He's very, very into the boxing, very passionate about the boxing, knows a lot of stuff about the boxing.
You know, the biggest thing about Jack for me, like, boxing is full of fucking sharks and rats and snakes. People who want to take advantage of you. They only want you for what you can bring to the table. They don't give a fuck about your health. If you lose brain cells in the process of selling more tickets, they're fine with that. Jack is not that guy. Jack is fighters first. He does not give a fuck. He will literally scorch the relationships with certain promoters if he thinks that they are doing wrong by the fighters. I've known him do it. I've known him say no to working on certain shows because certain other people are going to be there who are looked at as like parasites in the boxing world. He's like, look, if he's at your show, then your show is effectively associated with him. I don't like the way he looks after fight. Like, he doesn't even fucking look after fighters. So I'm not going to be there because I just don't want to be associated with him by association.
His integrity comes first, doesn't it?
Massively.
Which I really, really rate.
Massively.
And I feel like I am like that, you know.
Fucking hell, Jack, tickling your ego here, aren't we?
Yeah. But before I set off today, I was thinking about my Spin Justice of the Week and my shout out. And I had a few others in mind, but I thought of him because obviously I'd spoke to him about you. And I just like what he's doing. I love a grafter.
Yeah.
I love a grafter.
Oh, yeah, the hustle's real with Jack.
Yeah, and that for me is like top notch because I think, because I'm fucking grafting and I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
So I appreciate and I can see where other people are grafting. So Safe Hands UK.
This is a good thing about boxing as well. Like, obviously I've built a lot of friends up, you know, boxers, sparring partners, whatever. But the random people that come into your life, the Jack Anthonys, Paul McElwain as well, if you're watching this, you little fucking pervert. Like, boxing promoters, like, just random fucking people, hand wrap guys, cut men. I've created such a network of people now. Like, I guarantee you, when I check my phone in a minute, there'll be a message on there off Jack. There'll be a message off there off Paul McElwain.
Yeah.
Perry Atkinson, Justice, Chadwick, fucking loads of people.
Yeah.
It's like, you're never really alone when you're in a sport like this.
Yes.
I can't speak on like football and rugby and cricket now. I assume they're pretty much the same thing. But it's just a fucking wonderful, positive like, friendship circle, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good, isn't it?
It is.
Right, let's wrap it up. I'm fucking sweating, I am. Sat here. Right, thanks, Carl. Get us out of here, will ya?
Cheers.
If you have a topic that you want to discuss, get in touch at b31spinjustice@gmail.com or via Instagram @spinjustice.